Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred says government started national preparations for the Atlantic hurricane season 1 month earlier than the usual June 1st has been bearing fruit. Addressing a press conference to report on the 2024 season after it officially ended on November 30, Minister Abrams says the move made 2 years ago is necessary since weather systems are forming earlier compared to previous years. He says Barbados feeling the effects of Hurricane Beryl, the earliest Category 4 storm ever reported, is a major reminder of why preparation should be sooner rather than later.
Our decision to move our operational readiness for the 1st of May as opposed to the 1st of June really bore fruit because we were not scrambling in June. By the time Beryl came along, we were able, quite frankly, to have the Cricket World Cup, which occurred like 2 days before Beryl, the day before Beryl. We were able to have the Cricket World Cup with a plan to get people out of Barbados after the Cricket World Cup, with a plan for what to do with the people who were here for the Cricket World Cup. So the event came off. And then we immediately went into the shutdown for the preparation for the storm.
Minister Abrams says the sobering reality is that the 2024 hurricane season lived up to the prediction of an active and extremely destructive season. It became the second costliest on record, inflicting at least $220 billion in damage and causing 401 deaths overall. The eye of Beryl, which passed Barbados between June 30 and July 1st, resulted in damage to the south and west coastal infrastructure and the Bridgetown Marina, as well as severely affecting over 90% of the fishing industry. Tourism and housing sectors were also affected, with 73% of hotels, apartments, and guest houses and 40 houses suffering levels of damage. He adds that Barbadians' approach to hurricane shelters are changing for the better.
One time we used to open the shelters and very few people were trickling. Now people were getting in there early. They were asking if they could bring the pets. They came prepared, they came with the medication. So people did heed the numerous PSAs that went out there. So Bajans approached this hurricane season a little bit different than we had before. I think we're taking it, we come into grips with the reality and taking it a bit more seriously now.
Meanwhile, Director of the Department of Emergency Management, Kerry Hines, says the agency is currently reviewing its shelter strategy and policy.
I think what I would ask, if there are any persons who are willing to volunteer the buildings as shelters, any churches, what's not, please contact the Department of Emergency Management or the Ministry of Education. We are always looking to include additional shelters on the list.
Minister Abrams is asking Barbadians to insure their properties and to secure them as much as possible. Anesta Henry, CBC News.